Good afternoon to everyone. Like Anthony was saying that I became the CEO of TASCO on the April 1st of last year, 2020 was during the MCO time. So I was very lonely in office. There were not many people in office during that time. And then after the announcement of the lockdown, I think there's a lot of confusion from the government policy on the SOP. Food, of course, is essential, whether Sony TV, Panasonic TV, whether are they essential or not. So the next day, they are cigarette company who calling me whether cigarette are essential or not. And after that, there were people who are selling condom were asking me whether condom are essential or not. So there is actually a lot of confusion, but we are glad that things are better today compared to probably 9, 10 months ago. So without further ado, I will proceed on with the presentation today on this part. All right. First of all, I will have 4 main areas. The ocean freight outlook, I think Mr. Wei will cover a lot more later, but I will just getting some international environment on the ocean freight. On the air freight outlook, overall, we also look into the railway and cross-border land trade in China, and then also talking about the logistic industry moving forward, especially after the post-pandemic itself. Ocean outlook, sorry. Just a quick one, without going into too detail, as you can see from the chart that they have, the freight rate of ocean freight have been going up significantly for the past few months. And also looking at the outlook 2021, there was some external sources that Asia-Europe spot rate strengthened, sharp rise in contract rate. There's also a serious issue on the US port delay for structured blank sailing in the Asian services. And then at this moment, it's still a problem on congestion of port everywhere. So I won't go through line by line, but these are some of the main topics being discussed among our USAN group itself. On top of that, on the outlook of 2021, there will still be no relief looks like there still be no relief on this congestion in US. Carrier added boxes, I think there's a shortage of boxes in the market, but there will be no shift end to the equipment shortage. Those are the external sources that we have. And because of this, I think there are a request the carrier and the forwarder to seek for creative shipping options at this moment. So I think certain cargo have been shifted over to air cargo, and certain shipping options have gone into the land structures. So I think that's overall summary of the ocean freight outlook in the world. As for the air freight outlook, just a quick one. As you can see on the air freight itself, I think in December month, the average rate have increased from the Asia Pacific and Europe. So overall, if you look at the overall demand itself, the demand actually have come back to the 2019. So if you look at the outlook of demand, as you can see from the chart itself, from the December month, they have actually come back to almost to the line where in 2019 before the post-pandemic itself. So if you look at it, index volume reaching pre-COVID-19 level, while the capacity is still limited itself. So I think that's not only on the Far East demand trend comparison, but the same trend can be seen in Europe and US outbound as well in the Europe and US. So generally from the air demand itself, it has back to the pre-pandemic time itself. But if you go back to but if you look at on the supply side itself, the biggest challenge now is actually the diminish of belly capacity. So in our air freight, we will say belly capacity mainly are the passenger flight, which is the lower deck itself. So as you can see that on this chart itself, they do not foresee that the one in the orange color are the belly capacity, which is the passenger flight that coming in. So they believe that it will take about 3 years for the belly capacity to come and pick up again back into the pre-pandemic time. But if you look at the freighter capacity with the dark blue color, they will still stay quite flat until the year of 2023 itself. So overall, you can see that actually on the capacity wide body belly itself, except for the East Asia lane, which is China to East Asia itself, it has actually picked up on the supply side. But the rest of the supply in terms of routing wise are still maintained quite flat until January 2021 itself. So this is the biggest challenge in the air freight itself. So what is happening in air freight itself? Supply belly capacity may take approximately 3 years to recover back to 2019. So roughly about 2024 itself. Supply is gradually recovering from intra-Asia, but the US and Europe bound is still at the 20 to 30% of the January 20 level. Rate from Hong Kong and China are sharply rise, I think mainly, but also because due to Chinese New Year. Regardless, there's a huge demand drop in the end of 2020. What may happen next? Passenger demand remain low, airline will unlikely resume operation, capacity will remain at low level. Chinese New Year, which already is coming, but capacity constraint and rate surge expected in the second half of January. Next is actually also another outlook on air freight. Capacity constraint to be continued. So air travel will not recover until 2024. Cathay to park 40% of the fleet in the storage. Airline to retire in a Ionic planes sooner. Possible air freight demand boost. I think we were talking about the increase of retail and e-commerce demand. Possible demand shift from ocean freight to air freight, which I mentioned earlier. And there could be a demand bounce back in 2021 when actually the vaccine come in and people are back to norm. And especially on the COVID-19 vaccine in progress, I think now, as you know, that a lot of vaccines are being sent out from US, UK to different countries and for the vaccination. So overall wise, I think air freight in terms of demand, in terms of supply wise, will still remain low in 2021. I would like to touch more on railway and cross-border land freight in Malaysia, but because of lack of data, I've actually extracted some information out from our colleague in China. So if you look at the trend of China railway transportation volume at the cross-border itself, overall, the China railway freight volume have continued to develop until 2013. So when it comes to 2013, it has been negative for 3 years consecutively, and 2018, obviously the freight rate rebound back because of the coal transportation. So in actual fact, the railway in China actually have to pick up in 2018 and existing in 2019 as well. So actually, Malaysia in terms of freight, in terms of railway freight is still not active yet, but we can use China as a basis to look at the into the railway freight as well. Touching on the trend on the China truck transportation volume for cross-border, as you can see that actually from 2008 to 2018, the cross-border truck freight actually have surged almost 200%. And then from 2008 to 2018, and there are mainly a few provinces actually have contributed to the growth of this cross-border volume surge. But more interestingly, if a new gateway called Ping Xiang in this next to the Vietnam itself, if you look at the volume for the import and export, if you look into the maroon colors chart itself, that is where the export and import of the via the Ping Xiang itself, where you can see the surge in volume via this Ping Xiang. So in a way that you're telling that the cross-border business from this China over to Southeast Asia are mainly via through this friendship gate called Ping Xiang itself. So as you can see, also the China and Southeast Asia volume actually have surged quite a fair bit in that. So beside the option of ocean freight and air freight and railway, I believe that the possibility of trucking via the what they call it to Southeast Asia will be one of the options given to our customer. So quick one, this will be my last slide. Moving forward, I think I will look into the 3C in the logistic line itself. First is actually the complete. I think after the pandemic itself, I think the completion of your logistic network, whether it's domestically, whether internationally, I think that's one of the customer requests as well. And then your completeness of your service and solution. So today you're offering air freight to a customers, but at the same time, you will need to offer them alternative solution to the sea freight and also the land freight as well. The complete of your people and knowledge and the sales skill set in order to get ready for any of the urgency as well. And more importantly, I think the completeness of automation, humanless and contactless. I think this is something that I think all of us will have to be make known that I think for the many years down the road, I think any more pandemic come in, I think more requests on this automation, on this humanless and contactless of logistic business. But of course, companies of IT, I think everyone know that we are working from home now. I think this is a bit different from the past that we have. The next is actually on the complexity itself. As I mentioned earlier, the horizontal involvement, that means from air, sea, land, etc., into the railway, that you need to be able to offer that kind of combination of air, sea, land, and railway to customers. Another one is actually the vertical involvement. I think because many people might mention about the online trading and the traditional trading that we have, but because of the upstream changing on between traditional trading and the online trading, that also have a direct impact to our downstream of logistics itself. Of course, the next is actually the BCP response, backup, decentralized of some of the warehouse that we have with the customer as well. So talking about, I think Ruben also covered on the COVID-19 compliance, of course, on the human side. But there is a study saying that some of the coaching business, coaching cargo itself, have a positive COVID-19 on the cargo itself. So they have mapping requests from the authority and including our customer to ensure that the cargo itself is also be negative of COVID-19 COVID-19 virus. So it has become more complex than a norm itself. So with the completion and complexity of logistics side, I believe that there will be a series of consolidation of some logistic company. The M&A will be cross-border, regional M&A, and it could be cross services in the way that logistic services could be acquiring a trading company or e-market platform, or maybe if you look at Amazon itself, from Amazon, they're actually moving into the logistic line itself. You may not know, Westport may acquire the airport itself, so they actually have quite a fair bit of things to go on the M&A side. Player category, I think currently, of course, we have sizable players, we have the middle-sized player, we have the small player, but eventually, I think the player category will be summarized into a sizable and versus a niche player in the market itself. And then those in the middle, no man lands, or we call it the middle-sized player, where are they going to move around? Are they going to grow until the sizable, or they're going to narrow down their services and to become niche itself? But of course, with this pandemic case, I think collaboration between the private sector, collaboration with the public sector, and also the education sector on the R&D in terms of automation, I think these are some of the things that we need to explore in today's session. All right. That's all, Anthony, on my side here. Thank you.